and that is Burgess Hills Girls School. Burgess Hills Girls School will be represented by Nicola Dunson. She is the Assistant Head Boarding and Pastoral. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Burgess Hill Girls. I will just share my screen and then hopefully we can get started. Okay, so fingers crossed everyone can see that okay. So good morning. Welcome again to Burgess Hill Girls. Hopefully I'm going to give you a flavour of the school. I also have with me two students in the school. So I have Mira, who is currently a student in year 10, and I have Malika, and she is a student in the lower six. A little bit later, they'll give you a little bit of a snapshot of their experience of the school as well. So in terms of location, we're very well situated in terms of our transport links. We're 40 minutes away from the capital, so you get into London Victoria in about 40 minutes, 50 minutes from King's Cross, about an hour from Heathrow Airport, and we are just 20 minutes from Gatwick. And we do provide an airport transfer service as well. And we also take huge benefit from being just on the coast. So we have Brighton Beach very close to us, just 10 minutes away as well. So really great location. In terms of who we are, well, we are girls only, and we are champions of girls' education. We have day and boarding students in our school, and we do have students who we do sponsor, who are day students and obviously live in the local area, as well as those who board. And we have two international boarding houses. We have a nursery right through to the sixth form. So for us, it really is about that whole experience, that journey that students have with us through the whole school. Our boarders tend to range from 11 to 18. And they have a different program for them across the two boarding houses, depending on what year groups they're in. So if you're in the sixth form, you will be taking part in what we call our Next Steps program. And you might be doing things like come dine with me competitions to prepare yourselves for university. We have about 470 students in the school in total, and about 56 of those are boarders, which makes up about 12% of our school as a whole. We are academically selective, but for us, it's about knowing that individual student. So if they, on a top high flyer in terms of their academics, but they have something else that they will bring to the school, then we want to really have a look at that potential that students could have as well. We are highly creative, and you'll see that from our results, but particularly in sports, music, arts in particular, and drama. Excuse me. I have mentioned the location and obviously the closeness to the airports. Of course, exceptional pastoral care. I think in terms of a boarder who is supported in the school from the outset when you take part in our boarders induction week, which happens before the school term starts in September. It really makes sure that children are settled in, well cared for, and know who they can turn to right from the outset. And then when they are in the day school, we make sure that we don't have any form groups sort of bigger than about 20 to make sure that our form tutors can really get to know those students in the school. Outstanding higher education and career support, particularly for our sixth formers. They recently took part in the lower six networking dinner, where they're linked either with one of our bold girls, who are our alumni, or they're linked to somebody in industry to help them get work experience and really have that expertise from the horse's mouth, as it were, from the people who are going to be going into those careers. First-rate education, of course, but also great value for money. So it's all those, I suppose, those money can't buy things that you are getting at Burgess Hill Girls in terms of that sense of community and in terms of making sure that we do know everyone as an individual. In terms of some of the key things. I won't go through all of these things, conscious of time, but reputation for leadership and innovation. So really making sure, particularly in our sixth form with the BOLD program, students are taking leadership opportunities. They are making sure that they have aspirations in terms of some outreach that they might want to be able to do in the local community. So what else can they contribute? What else can they give in order to make sure that they can move on and get that top university place? We really do encourage that balance between academic work, making sure that they have some time with their peers and just some downtime as well, due to what the pressures look like in terms of their academic work sometimes and the pressures they put on themselves, and making sure that they do volunteer out in our community and making sure that they're well-rounded citizens. In terms of our results, so 91% of our A-level students last year, it was A star to B grades achieved, 61% A star to A, 50% taking maths scored A star, and 100% taking art scored A star A. And that has been 100% A star A consistent in art for the past 4 years for our A-level students. In terms of the EPQ, that is the extended project qualification, and students complete that in their lower 6th year. So it does mean that they've got an additional A-level qualification prior to making those university applications. So they get the results around January time in their upper 6th year, and a lot of universities then lower their offers because the EPQ is seen as such a serious piece of academic research and the academia that it holds. So our students actually really enjoy taking part in the EPQ. In terms of our GCSE results, 46% of all exams were graded 9 or 8, 68% of all entries graded 9 to 7, 100% 7 to 9 in art and music. Again, that's been consistent across the last couple of years, and 65% 7 to 9 in STEM subjects. And we are ranked as one of the top girls' schools in West Sussex. So where do those students go on to? You know, when they've been through that school, they've had that experience with us, they've done all those outreach things that we want them to be able to get involved with. So last year, 93% went on to university. The other percentage who didn't go to university went on to things like apprenticeships in industry, and also a couple of them took a gap year to get some work experience before they actually went on to their university course. 54% took up places at Russell Group universities. 90% secured a place at their first choice institution on results day. And girls applied for 96 distinct university courses. And I think that really is a sort of an indication, if you like, as to that individualized care and knowing the girls as individuals, making sure that they go on to something that they want to do. And that could have been something from game art to medicine. So a huge range of different university courses there. In terms of the extracurricular program, well, we have an extracurricular program that runs Monday to Friday in the day school, and then we have a separate boarding enrichment program that happens at the weekends. So in terms of the extracurricular, you are looking at, of course, sport, music, art, drama. We also do textiles here. In terms of sport, we have students who really enjoy things like badminton, volleyball. We have a ski racing team. So if you have a student who really wants something a little bit different, then hopefully we might be the school that's able to offer that. Girls' oracy and the ability to be able to speak out is something that we are advocates for. So we take part in a lot of public speaking and debating with other local schools as well. Engineering education scheme. So we have a couple of local businesses to us very close. We have American Express. We also have CAE, which is the flight simulator. We also have Edwards, which is an engineering company. So we have a link with all of those in order to be able to give our students hopefully some work experience, but also take them for days in industry to have a look at what those they look like. And maths and science Olympiads. So last week we had a huge range of schools, about 40 students join us, and they took part in the Royal Chemistry Society top of the bench competition. So in terms of boarding life, we have 2 boarding houses on site. We have Avondale, which is slightly smaller, that houses 17 students, and we have Silverdale, and that houses approximately 38 students. Girls across the ages of year 7 through to 18 live across both houses, and hopefully those older students become obviously good role models for the younger students in the houses. So this is probably a good point to let Mira have a little bit of a conversation with you about what her experience of being a boarder is in the school.
Hi everyone, I'm Mira, and I think being aboard in this boarding house is a really wonderful and awesome experience, as we have this variety of activities and sessions at the weekends. So then we would feel really fulfilled during the weekend. And also in the week we have Tesco trips, and also we also get some chill time when we're alone. So it's like a mixture of getting engaged in the community and also working hard as an individual. And I would say one thing that I really learned from the boarding house is the independence. I feel like I am more confident, because in the beginning I was really shy and I didn't know how to speak up, but they really accompanied me and really helped me through this journey.
Okay, thank you, Mira. In terms of supporting our students, I mentioned that knowing students' individuals, our sense of community, but that small form groups as well, and lots of opportunity across the year groups for that inter-year group socialisation through different house activities, also be that competitions that the sixth formers are running themselves. We also have lots of integration between day and boarding students, so lots of events that the boarding community run where they can invite day students over to the boarding houses too. And we do allocate during the week a one-to-one session with students' form tutors to check in with them. In terms of supporting our students upon arrival, I'm going to introduce Malika at this point. So Malika joined us from Uzbekistan in September, and she'll talk to you about how she was supported.
Hello, everyone. So the school supported me a lot when I arrived, since being a new student and coming to new school is hard. So they helped me a lot to settle in and adapt to a new education system. So the first week we had a different trips that helped me a lot when I started school. Moreover, they helped me a lot with my A-level choices. And they help a lot beyond school as well with extracurricular activities. I'm part of a Make a Difference club where we do different sales to raise money for charities, networking dinner, and so much more. So they really helped me to grow as an individual as well, improve my confidence, my leadership skills, and so much more. So the school is really, really supportive.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so a couple of things in terms of for you as parents. We don't have EXIAC weekends anymore. We have a couple of optional weekends out, but it does mean that our boarders can stay year round with us. And obviously go home for their holidays. It means that they get that continuity of care and ensure that they are able to obviously keep that community aspect over the weekends. We try as much as possible to have that parental contact. If we needed to talk to you, that relationship that we have with you as parents and the guardians is really important. And obviously making sure that we provide that academic and wellbeing provision at the same time. Just to mention that our boarders do come back a week earlier and they do take part in a boarding inductions week just to make sure that they are nice and settled before they start their academic subjects a week later. So if you wanted to ask me any questions about the school at this point, then I'm more than happy to take those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Lovely presentation there. Okay, so we have 2 questions here already. In what ways does the school ensure students leave with not only academic qualifications, but also a solid foundation in emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and life skills? Then the second question says, what percentage of your students are international students?
Okay, so let me do the sort of life skills type question first. So our students are throughout the school, they do take part in different well-being sessions, which do touch on their emotional intelligence aspects. And they do that within form groups throughout the week, and there's a weekly session for them to be able to do that. In terms of when they're in the sixth form, when they are completing the BOLD program, which is about leadership and opportunities, it's also about their personal interactions. So they have things like Viva interviews to make sure that their social and personal interactions when they go off to university are obviously, that they're obviously able to do those things as well. In terms of the second question, you just remind myself of it. The percentage of international students. Yeah, so you're looking at about 12 or 14%, depending on the year, are international students, which means that there is a smaller community in terms of boarding, which is a huge advantage for us. But also in terms of the wider school, you know, that diversity that those students bring is really fantastic. We had a previous student from Nigeria, and she actually led the way in making sure that the school had an identity day. And she has, that was kind of her legacy, really. And so I think she left about 4 or 5 years ago now. And she has actually, we actually still continue to do our identity day. So again, lots of opportunities to make sure that particularly our international community are really recognised in the school.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for that presentation. And it's always a pleasure to have you.